If you're new to riding side-by-sides, these 5 mistakes can turn into a major inconvenience. Stay tuned, I'll show you how to make each ride less annoying. All right, I feel like mistake number 1, and this is probably the most common one, is people don't carry a spare belt. If you own a machine that doesn't have a CVT, awesome, lucky you. You guys, you get to dodge this one. But a lot of these machines do have belts, they're belt driven, and they do break. Check out this clip of one breaking on this thing.
We're not going to the lake, are we?
Probably not. I've seen it going a little bit differently in my head. I feel like when people get their brand new machine, they're all excited. They're like, I'm ready to hit the trails. Throw some goggles in and let's rip. One thing that's often overlooked is a spare belt. This is a Can-Am brand one. It's just a factory belt. Same one that came on it when I bought it new. But the last thing that you want to have happen when you're out in the trails is you break a belt. And I've done this myself. I had a spare belt. I forgot to put it in the machine, and I could hear the belt delaminating because it got hot and started to fall apart, started to fail on me. So I had to call somebody to go to my house, grab the belt, and then bring it out to me out on the trails. I feel like it's not if they're gonna break, it's when they're gonna break. So if you just have one in the machine with you, awesome. You got it with you. When it decides to leave the chat, you just swap your new one on and you're good to go. Just having a spare belt with you could pretty much save an entire ride, save an entire day, especially if you got other people with you. So they're not waiting on you. You can swap your new belt in and continue hitting the trails. I feel like the second mistake that a lot of people make, especially when they're buying either a used machine or a brand new machine, this is one thing that is forgot about, I feel like 9 times out of 10, is running the wrong tire pressure. From factory, I mean, they seat the beads on these things. They pump them full of air because when they're in transport and they're sitting on lots, they tend to lose a little bit of air, especially if you have bead locks. Sand get in there and there's a little bit of air that seeps out. So they're usually overinflated. If you run an overinflated tire in the trails, the center of the tire is the only thing that's gonna be making contact on hard packed surfaces. Another thing that's not gonna be great with that is it's gonna be hard as a rock. You're not gonna get great traction in all the loose stuff like sand, so you're gonna get a lot of tire spin. On the other side of that, if you're running too low a tire pressure, the outsides of the tire are gonna wear down faster than everything else. Complete opposite of having too much pressure in the tire. Yeah, you'll get probably a little bit better traction running a lower tire pressure, but there's kind of a line where if you run too low a tire pressure, you're doing more harm than good. If you have too low of tire pressure, you're more apt to lose a bead, so pop a tire off the bead of the wheel. Hopefully you got an air compressor with you and some starting fluid to get your tire back on. If not, what are your plans? So one thing that takes 2 minutes maybe, throw an air chuck on there, check your tire pressure before you ride. Even when we picked up the new 2026 Razor Pro S, they had way too much air in it. Nate said it felt like it was kind of all over the place in the trails. We checked the tire pressure. There's a little too much PSI in them. So I run typically when we're running roads to get up to the trails, I usually run 12 PSI. It seems to do well in everything. It's not too hard to where it's just running right on the center of the tire. These ones have been wearing pretty evenly, so I've been happy with that. If you're running a lot more rock and sand, I mean, you can drop it down, but keep in mind, whatever terrain you're riding and whatever riding style you have, you can kind of tailor that to fit. So, I mean, I run 10 to 12 just because we're running a lot of roads and a lot of trails. When we go down to Tennessee, I'll probably drop my tire pressure down. If you're in the sand, you can drop it down. If you're not running paddles, of course. Yeah, I feel like the second big mistake that a lot of people make is not checking their tire pressure. I feel like the third mistake I see a lot of people make is not planning their ride. And that doesn't just go into, hey, we're gonna go here today. It's kind of how long you're gonna be gone for, which route you're taking to get there so you don't potentially get lost. Are you gonna make it to the trail and then back home, or do you need to plan a stop to get some more go-go juice while you're out ripping? These are all things you need to think about, especially if you're taking little ones with you. Do you have food? Do you have stuff to take care of them? Do you have water? Because I know a lot of these times that people are riding, it's summertime and it's hotter than it's hot outside. So make sure that you're kind of planning your trips accordingly. If you need water, take water with you. If you know you got to get gas somewhere before you'll make it back, plan them stops out, and then also know which trails you're taking, because it's super easy to get lost in the trails and it's kind of an inconvenience. So as long as you plan your trip out a little bit, do a little preparation, it could make the ride a lot more enjoyable. The fourth mistake I see a pile of people make: not everyone is as good of a driver as you think you are. I see people over driving trails all the time. It doesn't matter what condition it is. It could be sunny, it could be snow on the ground. People come into corners too fast, slide off the trail, clip trees, and then you have thousands of dollars worth of damage on your new fun shiny toy. Drive to a speed that you are comfortable driving at. You don't have to push yourself and your limits to keep up with somebody else. I tell everyone this whenever we're on a group ride with new people that are joining us out in the trails. We're gonna stop at every single stop sign. Anytime we turn, we always check up and make sure whoever's behind us catches up to whoever's in front of them, and so on until the last person's there. That way everyone's together. Sometimes when it's super dusty, especially in Michigan in the summer, these trails are terribly dusty. If you can't see in front of you, slow down and let the person up ahead get up to wherever they're going. Let the dust clear a little bit, and you can go at a little bit quicker pace if that's what you want to do, but then you know you're safe. We've had people, and Chris on this channel will be probably the first one to tell you, he lost his Talon and another Talon because it was too dusty. He stopped and he got rear-ended. Even experienced drivers, riders, whatever you want to call them, things happen. So the big thing is just drive where you're safe and wherever you're comfortable. Pretty much stay within your limits, and it will cut down on accidents happening, and it'll make every ride a little bit more enjoyable. All right, fifth and final mistake I see a lot of new people to this hobby doing is not knowing basic maintenance or how to do trail repairs. And you don't have to. If you don't want to wrench on these things all the time, you don't have to do that. You can take them somewhere to get serviced, but at least know how to put a new belt on. Big thing I'd recommend is if you do your own maintenance, it'll kind of help learn the machine a little bit better. Hitting all the grease fittings on your machine if you're doing the maintenance. That way you don't have to worry about someone else forgetting it and then causing damage and then money out of your pocket to get it repaired. Checking your tire pressure, oil change, front and rear diff fluids, greasing the Zerk fittings. These things I feel like are pretty commonly known with people who are into this hobby. I would highly recommend knowing how to do all of them things. Maybe even popping your primary and secondary clutches off, because if you do blow a belt and you have to replace that inner clutch cover, that's something that, I mean, a dealership's gonna charge you probably a pants load to do. You can knock it out in an afternoon at your house with pretty basic tools. Another thing I'd recommend knowing how to do is use a tire repair kit, especially if you're out riding like in rocks and stuff. It might be able to save you and make your way off the trail without completely damaging a wheel. You can pick them up super cheap. I have one actually right over here. This one's from Harbor Freight. You can get them off Amazon pretty cheap. These things are super handy. I keep them in pretty much any machine that I'm riding in, just in case we do puncture one of the tires. If it's pluggable, you can pop a plug in it real quick, get you off the trail, save your day. I know this video was pretty quick, pretty basic. If you guys have been into side-by-sides for a little while, this is probably nothing new to you, but for the people that are new coming into the hobby, these are things that I feel like are often overlooked, so I figured I'd do a quick video just mentioning it. And for you guys that are new to riding, you just picked up your first machine, if you are in either Michigan or Tennessee perhaps, and you want to meet up and go riding with us, we're going to be at Silver Lake Sand Dunes, June 27th. We're gonna be up to St. Helen at the Sand Bowl in Michigan on July 4th. And then we're gonna be down to Windrock in Tennessee, July 11th and 12th. So if you're in the area and you wanna pop in, meet up with us and do a little bit of ripping, that's where we'll be. And if you guys made it this far into the video, we are doing a merch giveaway once we hit 30,000 subscribers. So if you guys wanna win some free gear, make sure you smash that subscribe button. And if you guys wanna show us some love and support the channel, you can pick up some merch at sidebysidecentral.com. It really helps out the channel. Until next time, we're out.